Hi everyone, day 8 of our IGT 14-day challenge, and I'm teaching you how to dominate in your marketplace using video, of course, just dominating people's newsfeed. Now, we've got to talk about the power of headline, because your job now, when people are racing through their newsfeed, you want them to stop on your post. What's going to make people stop on your post or just ignore it and move on? And of course, the power of headline, that first line in the post, is going to decide whether they're going to stop or they're going to move on. Now, what I'd like you to do, go and Google National Enquirer and have a look at the images. Now, I've actually done a screenshot. You can have a look in the comments and have a look at the words mainly in yellow. These are their grabber headlines that when people are walking past a newsstand and they glance over, they can read those 2 or 3 words that grabs enough attention to then reach over and buy that newspaper, because they realize the speed that people are walking past the newsstand. This is how they grab their attention. You have to do the same. So just consider very carefully what that first line is going to be. Now, tomorrow in part 2, we're going to talk about the text that exists between the headline and the video that's going to sell them to then click on your video. So this is part 1 today. You must watch part 2 tomorrow to get your text right on the post before we then talk about a video that's going to then get their attention. So let's have a look at some possible headlines that might work for you, depending on what it is. Now, you might want to write these down and just rehash them, reword them to make them as grabbing as possible. Now, also remember that controversy is good. Now, let's have a look at some headlines. We had 99% occupancy rate last month, or 99.5% of our tenants paid on time last month. Or even some reverse psychology playing on the pain points and stress points that an owner may have, just to grab their attention. So your rental property mortgage will never be paid. The tenant from hell is painful. Your property has just been trashed. And of course, there's going to be further text. We've got to have one line spaced and further text. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But there are some sample headlines. You have to really get good at them to grab people's attention. So hopefully that helps, but always have a great grabber headline that stops people in their news feed. We're going to talk more tomorrow on more text, and then we're going to talk about the structure of your video that's going to allow you to dominate in your market so you can grow more. Cheers.